Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV. Hope you're all doing very well indeed. I'm up here in Scotland today near Glasgow, a place called Cumbernauld, and I've been performing at a wedding. You can just, let's see if we can get the venue, a little bit of the venue behind me. Can't be too loud because I think they've just been doing the speeches and stuff, and I'm just going to finish off here. I've been working this afternoon, and I'm just going to head off back to the travel lodge where I'm staying. Fancy digs when you're on tour. And then go and hopefully I'm going to try and push myself to go down the gym rather than going out and get some chocolate or some cake or something like that. Anyway guys, let's move on. I'm here today to talk about what's going to happen with our defence. Now that we've got Josko Gvardiol, a very, very expensive defender, 70 odd million pounds, I believe. Now that we've got him, there's going to be, I think there's going to be a shake-up at the back. I've said for many, many months, I think now that I think Aymeric Laporte will leave, simply because Aymeric Laporte is a very, very good, classy defender still, but he's way down the pecking order at Manchester City, so I expect him to leave. I don't know where he's going to go. You know, he could go, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I mean, a Premier League club should really be coming in looking for him. Anybody that's happy to play, maybe in a similar fashion to City. I mean, can you imagine him at Arsenal? I mean, that would be, I think, a superb signing for Arsenal. And I reckon they could probably get him from 30, 35, maybe even 40 million quid, because he's whatever 29, 30 years old. He's got a couple of years on his contract. I reckon if they put a cheeky bid of 30 million quid in, they might be able to go and get Laporte. That's one option. Maybe Liverpool look at him and say, play him alongside Van Dijk. You know, if you think Van Dijk's that Rolls Royce who's the one that's going to be cleaning up at the back, I think Laporte is a very good person to have, but I don't think Liverpool will want to spend that kind of money on him. You can see them trying to get Romeo Lavia at the moment, and they just won't pay the money that Southampton want. You know, Southampton want 50 million. Liverpool are trying to, have been lowballing it with their offers. So I'm not sure that's going to actually work out well. You know, they'll have to pay the money, and if they're lowballing them, then if they want Laporte, they'd be lowballing us. So, you know, where else could he go? Obviously, he won't go to United. I don't think Chelsea, Spurs. It'd be good for Spurs, but I'm not sure they'd go for him. Obviously, he can go off to, I guess, Spain, Italy, and maybe France. I don't know, but I just can't see him having a future here. I've said many times he only played 11. He had 11 starts in the Premier League last season. 11, that's all, and 12 appearances in total. So out of the other 27 games in the league, he played one. He came on as substitute in one. He's just way down the pecking order. And with the transfer in of Gvardiol, he's going to be further down the pecking order. But Gvardiol also will have an impact on other defenders, because where's he going to play? Here's the question. Well, he ain't going to play on the right or the right centre-back. So those positions I don't think will be impacted. But it's on the left. Okay? Now, if he's playing left centre-back, well, that affects Ake, potentially Akanji, because Diaz would play on the right, you'd think, and Stones, or right centre-back, and Stones would play on as right back, kind of. So if he's going to play left centre-back or left back, that has an impact, I think, on Nathan Ake, definitely. But I've got to look at Cancelo. What's going to happen with Cancelo? Now, Cancelo, for me, he still has a lot of quality, but also for me, he's not a great defender. At times, he's a liability, either out of position, out of place, or too willing to take the easy option. Now, what do I mean by that? I'll give you one example. Liverpool last season at Anfield, okay? He was the last man. Salah, the ball was pumped up. Salah was there, back to goal, and Cancelo tried to either nick the ball, get in front of him, or whatever. He committed himself, and that was a sin, because The ball went through, Salah ran on, scored the goal, City lost 1-0. He should never have committed himself. He should have stood there, he should have jockeyed Salah, he should have held him up basically, give other defenders a chance to get back, and so we would have outnumbered him. But he didn't. He took a risk, and it was a big risk, and it was a fatal risk. So I just cannot accept that, because I think that's the easy option, that's the easy way out. I don't think, I'm pretty sure he doesn't care enough about Manchester City. He cares more about himself, and that's why I think at least on 2 occasions he's thrown his toys out the pram. There's rumours that he was swore at Pep, he had through stuff or whatever. I don't know if they're true, but I can believe it. I can believe it. So he's thrown his toys out the pram, and that's why he went off to Bayern. Didn't do well enough there for Bayern to buy him, and so he's back at City now. If Gvardiol's there on the left, what does that do for Cancelo? I think if you're spending that much money on Gvardiol at left back, Cancelo, where he doesn't get a look in. He doesn't get a look in, so he's then left to go on the right hand side. Well, Johnny Stones is there, and if Kyle Walker doesn't go, talk about it in a minute, but if Kyle Walker doesn't go, then I'm sorry, Kyle Walker, Johnny Stones, Rico Lewis are ahead of Cancelo for me at right back. Simple as that. So I don't see a future for Cancelo. Problem again is with Cancelo, who's going to buy him, and what are they going to pay? Okay, now someone may get Cancelo on the cheap. I reckon in the deal that brought him to City, with Danilo going the other way to Juventus, he was valued at 60 million quid, I think, 60 million quid. Now, he's certainly not worth that much money. No one's banging the door down to buy him right now. So I reckon he could go for 40 million, maybe even less. Now, if he's sold for 30 million, a lot of fans will just jump up and down again, say, oh, we've given him away and we've given a quality player away. Look how many goals he scored last season. Look how many assists he got. Look at that over his time at City. It's not enough, in my opinion. Compare that. He's an attacking fullback, okay? Okay, we play slightly different to Liverpool, but compare that with someone like Andy Robertson, and go and compare his stats, his goals, his assists. Compare them with Cancelo, okay? Vastly different. And people, the problem is people seem to only remember some of the exceptional stuff he's done, and they quickly forget that the mistakes he's made, or the fact that he's got a good shot on him, but he doesn't score enough. He has a lot of shots, only scores a small percentage, I think. So I don't think he's contributed enough, certainly not in a defensive capacity. So I think, if Laporte goes, 35 million, if Cancelo goes, 35 million, let them go. Those two have gone, and that's most of the money for Gvardiol. That's one way of looking at it. Finances don't work like that. Football finances or regular finances don't tend to work like that. But on a simplistic level, that's how you can look at it. You can look at it like that and say, get rid of those two, and Gvardiol coming in, money's about equal. In fact, you're going to save money, because I'm sure Cancelo's on cracking money, pretty sure of that, and I'm sure that Laporte's on decent money. Probably between the two of them, they're on best part. I wouldn't be surprised with 350, maybe even 400 grand a week. That's 20 million a year. Comfortably between 15 and 20 million pounds a year. Now, Gvardiol, what's he on? 150 grand a week? 7.5 million. So whatever happens, we'd save about 10 million quid a year if those two guys moved on, and would obviously get the money in. Our accounts are brilliant at the moment. Don't worry about them. Our cash flow would be substantially better off with those two guys going. So yeah, if you ask me, get rid of them both, yeah, okay, because as I said, we've got Ake, Akanji, Stones, Diaz, Gvardiol, 5 centre-backs, no place for Laporte. And at left-back we've got Ake, got Sergio Gomez, who actually looked quite decent for the under-21s for Spain in the Euros, in a more attacking role. I think he was joint top scorer with 3 goals, and actually he was pretty decent by all accounts. So that's another option. And obviously Gvardiol there, Ake there, Rico Lewis has played there, Bernat, Bernardo's played there. It depends how Pep wants to set up. If he wants an out-and-out left-back, an attacking left-back, well, then you've got maybe Gomez, maybe Gvardiol. If you want a defensive left-back, you've got Ake. If you want a left-back who's going to invert into midfield, you can pop someone like Rico Lewis in there. So I think we've got so many options. We don't need those two players. Finally, we've got Kyle Walker. Now, don't know what's happening with his transfer. Pep said he's hard to replace, and we want him to stay and everything else. But at the end of the day, if players want to go, Pep said, I've always said since I've been here, let them go. If people want to leave, we'll let them go. Basically, if the money's right. Kyle Walker's maybe having this option to go to Bayern Munich, and I think 15 million is dirt cheap. I think it's too cheap for Kyle Walker. But once again, if Kyle goes, we've got so many options already. We've got Johnny Stones playing right back. We've got Rico Lewis playing right back. Yeah, so I'm not worried about that. Yes, they're different kind of right back to Kyle Walker, and that's the only thing that we miss out on. Kyle's pace, his power, his strength. Okay, we lose all that. Okay, his ability to maraud down the wings. But what Kyle doesn't have is that ability to move into the centre. Now, Zinchenko, he was talking about Arteta here, but it's or Pep, because they do very similar. Zinchenko said when he's playing, let's say at fullback, okay, and there's a press going on. Okay, there's a press going on. He can step into midfield, into the centre, and support the defensive midfielder, and hopefully they'll have a 2-on-1 overload, and they can play around the opposition's defensive midfielder, and they can have the attack going that way. Or he can go down the line, and we can have an attack going that way. So there's two options for the way out. And what also that means, if he goes down the line, for instance, his attacker or the person who's marking him or chasing him follows him down the line. Okay, that creates space in the middle, and hopefully we can beat the press that way. I'm having a good time at that at this wedding. But if he goes into midfield, then the fullback or whoever it is, midfielder, isn't sure what to do. And if he doesn't follow him, then we've got that overload in midfield, and we've got 2-on-1, we bypass their DM. So Kyle Walker doesn't do that, and Pep basically said he can't do that. Probably that didn't please Kyle. He probably deep down accepts it, but it probably hurts as well. And obviously not playing in the Champions League final, not featuring the biggest of games, probably hurts a lot as well. So that might be a reason why Kyle wants to leave, but he hasn't gone yet. He hasn't gone. So maybe when he gets close to actually moving, you have second thoughts. You think, actually, am I just cutting off my nose to spite my face? But obviously Kyle's won everything, and he's not there chasing trophies. He probably wants to play. He's 33 years old. He probably wants to play a lot as well. And maybe he thinks moving out of England will keep those rotten people from the press out of his private life. I don't think it'll happen, because, they'll still follow him around, because he has been an easy target and easy stories to write about Kyle Walker, because, he's out there and he does stuff and people catch him. And it's just a shame. But maybe being a little bit out of the limelight, away from England, might help Kyle as well. So, but if he goes, I said, all we lose is that person who's got pace and power and strength and everything else on the right. A good throw on him, a long throw on him. But look, by Manchester City under Pep Guardiola, I think we'll cope. Pep will find other solutions. He always does. Okay, so even if we lose all three, I think we'll get somewhere in the region of 85-90 million pounds for losing those three. And we still have John Stones. We still have, I've got to remember all. John Stones, Manuel Akanji, Nathan Ake, Josko Gvardiol, Rico Lewis, Sergio Gomez, okay, and Ruben Dias. Is that 7? I think that's 7 altogether. Ton of cover at the back. And look, if we're pushed, and he has played there before, we've had Rodri play at centre-back, but I think 7 is enough. And maybe if you're looking for somebody else, if I've forgotten somebody out, let me know. But you can just get, hopefully we've got a youngster coming through who you can play in some cup games. But I think 7 or 8 defenders, that's plenty. Losing 3 and only getting 1 in, you could argue that's it's, you know, we might be a bit short, but I think we'll be all right. I really do think we'll be okay with that. So there you go, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Do you mind losing Laporte? Do you mind losing Walker? Do you mind losing Cancelo? Do you worry if we lose all three that we don't have enough cover? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd be really interested to see what you've got to say. And guys, if you are new to the channel, where have you been? Where have you been? Please think about subscribing and hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. We've done fantastically well. I've said it for the last few weeks. We have done amazingly well with new subscribers over the last probably about 6 weeks. Our subscriber numbers have gone up by over 40% in the last month. It's blows your mind. You know, I didn't think we're that. I'm not saying we were popular, but I didn't think we would do that well. But thanks to everybody who has subscribed, and if you haven't, please think about doing so. And we will be putting out as many videos as we can as soon as I have time. Whenever I've got a bit of time, I'll be sticking out videos for all you guys, whether you're Manchester City fans or not. We'll see you around, Blues.